With the release of the final shape, Bungie decided to add a new form of damage resistance in the game called Frost Armor. Exclusive to Stasis and Prismatic, this is another form of damage resistance kind of like Woven Mail, but also kind of not in the same way. We'll get into that. At its base, Frost Armor gives 4.5% damage resistance per stack. Stacking up to 5 times, this gives you a 22.5% damage resist for around 8-ish seconds or so. You can increase this up to 8 stacks for 36% damage resist for 13 seconds with the fragment. In order to get this in the first place, the main way of doing so is running each class's respective stasis shard aspect, and collecting a shard gives you 1 stack of frost armor per shard, stacking all the way up to 5 or 8 depending on if you have the fragment or not. There are also some exotics that they reworked that also give frost armor now, with 2 notable ones being Wrath Weavers on Warlock and the Dustfield Grenade one on Hunter. I don't know what the name of it is off the top of my head. Now, how good is it? Compared to Woven Mail that you just get 45% instantly, Frost Armor works in a different way to where you build up stacks over time, and then once you get the max amount, you can refresh it just by picking up 1 stasis crystal, refreshing the time, giving you a longer damage resistance, but at a less effect. The main problem with this though that I find is the fact that you have to run an aspect to really keep it up and keep kind of the engine rolling on it, versus other classes like Strand to where you don't have to do it. You could just run the fragment or you just pick up an orb of power and you get Woven Mail. On this you have to run the aspect, or else picking up a shard just gives you melee energy. With the aspect it gives you melee energy and gives you frost armor. And on Prismatic, I honestly don't even think it's worth running. I've tried some testing with it, but the amount that you have to invest to have the uptime on it isn't worth it, especially just compared to if you just run Woven Mail. You could just run Strand and run Facet of Purpose and just get Woven Mail that way just as easy. So I don't think it's really worth talking about for Prismatic. The main thing is that it's just a way to get damage resist on stasis, and I think it's a good idea in concept, but I think being forced, locking it behind an aspect is a really annoying move, especially when stasis doesn't really have the greatest option, isn't really the greatest in the sandbox right now. And compared to other classes where you can spawn fire sprites or void breaches or ionic traces just from either getting kills or running a fragment, having to run an aspect and a fragment to get frost armor kind of just kills it for me, especially when in order to get like the restoration fire sprites or the devour void breaches, all it takes is 2 fragments. I think it would be way nicer if it just took a fragment instead. But I will say though, there is actually some good from this in the fact that getting stasis shards and creating them, especially with the reworked fragments they just did on stasis, actually makes it pretty easy to keep the armor up time high, but still at the end of the day you have to go out of your way for it, and compared to something like a fire sprite or void breach either giving you restoration instantly on pickup or devour instantly healing you, this doesn't heal you, this just gives you damage resistance, so you kind of go out of your way to even just take damage just to try to keep your damage resistance up, and I've had it sometimes to where it just ends up getting me killed. But all in all, I think it's a good idea. I hope to see them work with this some more, hopefully change it to where you don't have to run the aspect in order to get frost armor, because I think that's just the main thing that kills it for a lot of people. But all in all, I think it was a good idea, and I hope to see them work and maybe develop this more in the future, because I really do like stasis. It's just compared to the other options and the other things we have now, especially Prismatic, I just feel like it's really lacking in the sandbox at the moment. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.